Hello and happy Thursday if you're listening to this on Thursday, the 18th of December. Welcome to the Mom Boss Method podcast. I am going to talk about Christmas. Obviously, we're a week away from Christmas Day, and whilst I'm putting this out to help you not only for Christmas week but also going into January. I did this chat in my my free Facebook community earlier in the week on Monday. I go live in there every Monday. If you want to join, you can find the details in the show notes. But I did this live in the Facebook group, and so many women messaged me to tell me how helpful it was, because what I'm going to talk to you about today won't just help you over the next week, but it will help you going into 2026 as well. And I called this on Monday, Why January Fails Start in December. When I put this out as a podcast, I may change that, but we'll see. We'll just see. And I've got three things to tell you, right? I want to talk about the starting again Monday effect. I want to talk about motivation and tell you the truth about that. And I want to talk to you about consistency consistency during the chaos. And those three things I think are really pertinent at the moment. They're the things that my client group are struggling with the most. And so, yeah, let's have a quick chat about it. I think I've literally got 12 minutes until my lunch is ready. So I better get going, hey? Otherwise I turn into a hangry monster. So let's start with this starting again Monday effect, right? If you are already, it's the 18th of December when I'm recording this, if you are already starting to think, oh, well, there's no point starting anything now. It's Christmas and I'm just going to eat loads next week. So why would I bother even focusing on a healthy meal now? Why would I even bother about focusing on going to the gym now? Why would I bother going for a walk in the absolute chucking it down rain if you are anywhere near me today now? Because, next week is a write-off anyway. That is classic all or nothing mentality right there. And it's this point around not believing that anything you do from this moment onwards is going to be of any value. So you may as well just write the rest of this week off, and because we're towards the end of the year, write the rest of this year off, and then just start again on Monday or start again on the 1st of January. And I kind of want to say here that, January there's no magic about January. Mondays have no magic. They're just the day that societally, is that the right word, we choose to start the week on. But in other countries and cultures, so in Israel, for example, sorry, I got really distracted looking at the camera there that one of my eyebrows is raised, which is impressive. The week starts on Sunday. So, there's no magic about a Monday. There's no magic about January. And actually, what you're doing by constantly saying to yourself, I'll start again on Monday, I'll start again in January, is you're just writing off and putting yourself further back from where you want to be. And by the way, that doesn't even have to be where you want to be with a number on the scale. That could be in just feeling better. If you've not managed to move this week, if you've not managed to eat a vegetable this week, just saying, I'll start again Monday, I'll start again January, you're just pushing back or making the amount of time you feel rubbish longer. So it's really all or nothing. And if you're doing that right now, you are pushing yourself so far away, so much further away from your goals, that January is then going to start feeling really difficult. And the same goes for if you say, I'll just start again on Monday, and you say that on a Thursday, and then you start saying it on a Wednesday. Eventually, the days that you're actually on track are less in the week than the days that you're off track. So you're just, by delaying when you're starting again from, you're just going to be further away. You're making January harder by doing that. And what I'm going to share with you in the next 2 points is going to help you with that, feeling like there's less of a mountain to climb. Okay, so point number 2 I wanted to make was about motivation. So if you aren't saying, I'll start again Monday, you're actually just keep telling yourself that you're waiting for motivation. I want you to stop waiting for motivation, because motivation is as reliable as the weather. We have no control over the weather, and we have no control over our motivation. So stop waiting for it. I want you to start thinking about what you will do on your worst ever day. What is the minimum you can do on your worst day? Because when you can start thinking about that, you never have to wait for motivation again. I'll give you some examples. So for me, if I've had a day where I have had absolutely sod all sleep, like 2-3 hours sleep, I might cancel the gym, especially if it's I know it's a particularly hard gym session. So Tuesdays and Fridays for me, if I really have to think about if I've had enough sleep to go to those. But I might say, okay, well, I'm not going to do a really hard session. I might just take it easier. I might drop my weights down a bit. Today it's absolutely chucking it down. I mean, it feels like it's been raining for like 6 months, doesn't it? But I'm just checking my steps now. I'm on 6,500 steps. I'm recording this at 1:20 in the afternoon. I would quite honestly like to get to 10,000 steps. That's my target. But I might not be able to do that by going for an outside walk again for the rest of today. So I might have to do that by dancing around my house. I might have to say, on my very worst day, if it's absolutely chucking it down and I feel like rubbish, that 8,000 is enough. And actually, yesterday, 8,000 had to be enough for me. It was about 8,500 actually. But I was super busy. I had some personal commitments. I spent 2 hours in the car driving Charlie around. So 8,500 had to be it. What you're doing is you are setting minimum standards for yourself. These are your minimum standards for how you will show up on your worst day. And this is exactly what I teach in my Hotter Than Hell program, is what are your minimum standards. They're not rules, they're not passes or fails, they're not good or bad, they are minimum standards. So it's deciding what you're going to do on your worst day. And the reason why this works is because actually what it does is it changes your identity. You start identifying as someone who, even when the weather is absolutely horrific and they're really tired, they still aim to get 8,000 steps. You start to identify as someone who, even when... so another example is, I've not managed to get any extra frozen fruit this week. We've run out of frozen fruit. I love berries. That's what I like to have in my yogurt. But you know what? I haven't got any. So I grated some apple in today. Is that truly what I prefer? No, I prefer the berries. But it was a fruit. It's adding fibre and micronutrients. So I added that instead. Okay. When you start doing these things, when you start working on minimum standards, you are changing your identity. You are starting to identify as the woman who has these minimum standards. And actually, these minimum standards are still quite high standards. And so, yeah, you might be having the worst day, but you're still going to achieve your minimum standards. And changing your identity is so much more powerful than waiting for motivation or relying on willpower, and this isn't about willpower, but both of those are unreliable. And it's super powerful. It enables you to really make informed choices. And the third point that I wanted to talk about is about consistency in the chaos. So, depending on your family situation, the next 2 weeks for a lot of you are going to be chaos if they're not chaos already. I'm noticing it in my client communities. Things are a little bit quieter. We've all got a lot to do, not just our jobs, but all of the personal stuff as well. It is chaos, and the next 2 weeks are absolute chaos. And here is the point I want to share with you and the strategy I want to share with you about consistency within that chaos. The first thing you need to understand is consistency doesn't mean perfection. Okay, consistency means doing what you can when you can do it. Okay, so doing it more often than not. So what I want you to decide on, and this links into what you do on your worst day, is decide on your minimum viable action. What is your minimum viable action? Okay, and the thing I like to do here, particularly around this week in Christmas, this next 2 weeks, I know that creating a structure is really important. So these two tools work hand in hand. So I have created a structure for myself for the next 2 weeks, and that is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, my gym is open. I will get into the gym. Thursday, Friday, it won't be open. That's Christmas Day and Boxing Day. My minimum viable action, okay, for next week is that I will walk outside every day, and I will get to the gym on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, right? I've created that structure. Now, yes, at the time I will get to the gym is going to look different because I don't need to get up at 5 o'clock. Woohoo! Because I don't have to, go there in accordance with my best friend's school run, right? But my minimum viable actions will be that I will go for a walk outside and I will get to the gym. I will eat protein with every meal and I will eat a vegetable with every meal. And then we talk about creating a structure. Now, this links back to point number 2, right? Because I said to you, what will you do on your absolute worst day? And here's the point. I know from the years of experience that December the 27th is the day in December I feel the worst. I don't know why, but I wake up on the 27th, the day after Boxing Day, I'm exhausted. I feel really low energy. Sometimes I feel a little bit down, like everything's kind of come to the end. You can't really be bothered to put the Christmas decorations away. You maybe haven't put all of the Christmas presents away. Everything looks a bit bare, and you've maybe got, depending on whether you hosted or not, you've maybe got a fridge that's bare or just full of leftovers that you're sick of the sight of, right? So the structure that I apply is looking at that, and that is my worst possible day. So what is the minimum viable action I will take on my worst possible day? And for me, that on Saturday the 27th, we have planned a family day. It is a PJ day. It is a watching Christmas movies on the sofa, getting snuggly and just chilling. But it is a gym day for me. And one of my non-negotiables is I go to the gym on the gym days that the gym is open. That is a normal gym day for me. So I will go to the gym on the 27th. I won't be there for 7 a.m. I will be there when I wake up. I will go to the gym and I will walk the dog and I will make sure I get all of my steps. Once that is done, I will shower and put my pyjamas back on and then sit and have a movie day with my husband and my son. Because that is my worst day. I know it's the day I feel the worst every year, but there are minimum viable actions I can take on that worst day. Now, what I've done is I've linked these things together. I've not waited until January to start again. I'm taking action where I can take action. I've decided on the minimum I could do on my worst possible day, and I have created structure. I know the gym is closed on one of my regular gym days, but I know that if I work it out, I can go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And so I have created consistency for myself in the chaos. Does that mean on Christmas Day I won't be having a full-blown Christmas dinner, dessert, wine, and some cheese and biscuits? No, I will be enjoying it. I will be enjoying hosting here on Boxing Day and the food that we're making. But I draw a line and I go back to structure on the Saturday. And it's these things, they connect together. They stop you from failing in January because you're not waiting for January. You're taking action as soon as you can, but you're not holding yourself to this super high, ridiculous bar that isn't possible for you. So I want you to take this and I want you to apply it to yourself. Just take 10 minutes, a piece of paper, or print out a blank diary and decide, like, what are the actions you're going to take for the next 2 weeks? How is that going to look? And how can you make sure that you're not going into January feeling like you're starting all over again? And if you want 2026 to be the year that you feel like your hottest self, then I recommend that you keep an eye on my socials or you get in touch with me, because I'm going to have something super exciting dropping for you on Boxing Day, which I can't wait to share with you. So I hope this has helped. 16 minutes, not bad. The beeper's gone on the air fryer, so I'm going to go and have my lunch now. Have a fantastic Christmas, everyone, and I will speak to you in the last week of December. Mwah!